when we last left our heroes, they had been pulling up in a, nice brass car once again, up to the new train station at the northeast of New Dragonrook. And as you walk out of the vehicle, you can see that the train station is a beautiful creation of red brick and white painted wood and stone. It is a pillar of glamour and pride in this industrial revolution you are all living within. There's intricate gold leaf and copper weaved into the spiraling designs on the wall that shines in the starts of the sunrise approaching. You can see that the train itself as well docked at the station, awaiting passengers. I wrote that horribly. We'll try that again. You can also see the train that is docked at the station awaiting you. It is a pristine white and gold beast, curving with swirling patterns of wind and leaves engraved into it. Large windows line the sides, all tinted black, keeping the inside a well-kept secret. Edmund, your nice little cat friend, tabaxi friend, stands at the threshold of the train awaiting your arrival. You can see that he is in an intricate three-piece burgundy suit that has two short coattails that drape behind him. He's also, as you approach, got a beautiful bronze pendant upon his lapel, which is a weaving leaf and vine pattern that is encasing a large emerald.
And he wasn't wearing that the other day. Well, yesterday when we met him. Okay. Okay. All right. Has anyone here ridden on a train before?
Don't think so.
Oh dear. All right. I hope there's no customs like train traditions that we're not missing out on or completely misdoing.
No, I don't think so. But if it's anything like a boat, I think we'll be fine.
All right. This should be fine then. I will follow your lead. I'll make sure I'm doing whatever you're doing, so I don't cause offense.
As you approach Edmund, you see a sign reminding you that all weapons must be stored in your luggage, which will be put into the back storage cart.
You would not deny a man has walking seconds.
Well, I guess spellcasters are gonna be okay.
I mean, whatever you decide to do, it's up to you. It just says that.
Kitasha will see that and go, oh, that's right. And then start pulling out weapons and putting them in the luggage.
But you had weapons this whole time?
Yeah. She's used them a couple times.
Yeah.
Okay. I wonder if these handcuffs would be considered weapons. The anti-magic handcuffs.
You don't have those.
We don't have them?
Those.
Oh, I thought
Those
we got
were
told
like
onto them.
loaned. Yeah, those were on the
never mind. Oh, okay. I was gonna call some shenanigans. Okay. Okay, I'm pretty sure the pistol is considered a weapon, so I'll probably put that in the luggage. Is Edmund like within earshot?
If you want him to be.
Yeah. Okay. I'll ask him. Do you know the rules of the train?
Oh, well, this will be my first time on the train, but I'm pretty sure it's just, be courteous and probably quiet. Don't cause a ruckus. I know there's no weapons allowed on the train, that they all get stored in the back cart.
Shields count as weapons.
Probably.
Okay, I'll put that in the back.
Yeah, I would say probably put that away, I would say.
And how about my robot dog?
I'm not sure. Is he a weapon?
Not currently.
I mean,
He'll be
they let.
fine.
He's probably fine. He's kind of like a automaton sort of thing, right?
Yeah, somewhat.
Yeah, he performs services, so I think you should be fine.
Mm.
Just saying that he is an animal that provides services.
Okay.
I think the only other thing to expect for our itinerary on the train is that they do have, for meal times, they have a 10 a.m. tea, lunch, afternoon tea, as well as dinner throughout the day, and then those are all accompanied by music performances, which will be quite nice.
All right. That sounds good.
Oh, and all of your luggage you will want to give to that man over there. And there, as you look across, is a Aarakocra. Kind of looks like a house sparrow, kind of pudgy. He's in a little, like kind of like bellhop uniform, little red hat and everything. And he's currently lugging a bunch of suitcases over to the rear train. He's just making his way around. I'm gonna
This is me-
ask.
So this is me saying it, not the character, but this guy sounds adorable.
Yes, I want to ask: is anyone going to try and smuggle a weapon on?
I think we've already established that Kitasha is a weapon in and of herself.
Mhm.
So as long as she can get on board, I think we're fine.
That should not be an issue.
I think Joe's gonna at least try and just get away with wearing his like armor underneath some of his like traveling clothes. Partly as like, to keep safe, and partly just to act as a protection for Edmund as well. So unless someone has an issue with Joe having slightly a bulkier frame from the armor underneath. But yeah, otherwise no. I think I'll probably keep on hand just a set of like basic repairing stuff and like maybe a tool belt, if that would be allowed. Just some really, really basic, like a small wrench and a screwdriver or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mick will store her glaive, but unless someone stops her, will not take off her agility and her leg enhancers.
Okay. And keep all that stuff hidden. Okay.
Out of curiosity, is Mako's traveling clothes, is that closer to what she normally wears, or is that like the full bustle and Victorian wear?
I imagine the traveling clothes are closer to what I normally wear. I wouldn't put on the fancy dress until we were actually going to an event.
Okay. We gotta get this all, the mental picture. Have it all be good.
All of the important stuff, yeah.
Matt, you can go ahead and leave your luggage with the little budgie guy, and Edmund will just wait for you to come back before starting to board the train.
All right. If I'll ask the bellhop, if that's the correct word. If at any point we might need to retrieve something from our luggage, would that be a possibility with your guidance, of course?
Oh, well, things such as like your clothes and such, we will, take care of making sure everything is laundered properly. And such, things such as weapons are not going to be allowed to be accessed for safety reasons. But yeah, things like your clothes and such like that will definitely be accessible. But yeah, we are going to keep all the weapons under lock and key for the duration of our traveling.
Okay, that's good to hear. Thank you for your service.
Of course, anything else I can help you with today?
No, I think that'll be all.
Okay, I will get back to it then. And he's gonna continue lugging like 6 suitcases, very clearly puffing with exertion as he begins reloading everything into the last cart.
Well,
Does he have at least have like one of the like luggage carts that he's able to use, or is he just like trying to fit everything on his wings?
He's got a luggage cart.
Okay.
Spires are strong. They can hold coconuts. Like this guy's
No,
tough.
no. This is a sparrow, not a swallow. It's a very
Oh, I'm sorry.
different
I'm
breed of bird.
sorry.
If there is space on the luggage cart, Kitasha will place her almost overpatched to the point of bursting carpet bag on there.
All right. Perfect. Yep. It should be able to fit. Just barely.
Just barely, as it should be.
Okay. All right. So, anything else that you guys want to do before you board the train?
I think that's probably everything.
Yeah.
We've said our farewells to the city.
Never to be seen again.
Nope, never.
And that was the last they were heard from. As you approach the boarding area with Edmund, you see two halfling guards that are outside, and they're waving their hands over each guest in kind of a like this motion. You see them a couple times pull someone aside and talk to them, and then you see some stuff have to be thrown away, or the classic going through security.
Hmm. All right. Well, long as none of us are being sneaky, we should be absolutely fine. Edmund, I'm looking at you as well.
I don't know what I would need to be sneaky about, but all right. Now I'm worried about other things. No, we should all be good. And he approaches as it's his turn next. The two guards nod to him and do a quick wave around and bow and welcome him on board. Who is next in line?
I can
As
be.
much as Kitasha would like to see Joe continue to flounder his way onto the boat or the boat train, I think Kitasha will go next.
All right. The two will nod at you and start doing their waving. You did not have anything on you that would be considered a weapon of any sort, correct?
Just my dazzling smile.
Excellent. They will nod to each other, nod at you, and do a bow and welcome you inside the train.
And Kitasha will do like a wave of acknowledgement and then proceed onto the train.
All right. Who would like to go next?
I can go.
All right. As you approach, they nod and begin waving and then kind of look to the side. And, who is this?
This is my dog. His
Alright,
name is Hercules.
Alright. We're gonna have to do a separate check on this guy here. Please step aside for a moment.
Mm-hmm.
As they go over, does Hercules have any hidden compartments on him that you may have forgotten?
He does contain hidden compartments, but I don't believe I've got anything in there. At best, he might have been carrying my tool belt just for my ease. So that he may have like a screwdriver and a wrench, but other than that, yeah, I think he is just the metal dog.
Okay. they'll do a wave over it, and you'll see them muttering back and forth between each other. And they'll turn to you and go, now, normally we don't allow pets on the train, seeing as it's made of metal. It's probably fine. However, he's gonna need to stay in your cabin.
I guess that's fine.
Alright. Well, then you're free to go on board, sir. You have a lovely trip.
Aye, aye, Captain.
Alright. You bored?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Mako, it's your turn.
Yep. I'll pull out the rear. Does he stop me?
They're gonna do the wave over you, and they're gonna stop at your legs. And go, say now, what is this here contraption? This is giving off, like, gunpowder vibes on it? There's no weapons allowed on the train, ma'am.
They're not weapons, they're mobility enhancers.
So like an augmentation?
Yes. Precisely, actually.
Never seen one quite like this.
It's very custom. I have a personal artificer.
They're gonna. You see them look at each other, look back, look at the. Well, all right. Yeah, if you need them to move around, that's totally understandable, ma'am. No disrespect meant. I know sometimes you need augmentation to get around. Don't you worry about a thing. You are all set to come aboard, ma'am. You don't worry about it.
We'll march on board.
All right. And as all three of you are now inside the train, you are greeted by lush velvet booths lining the entire train car that you've walked into. There's a plush black carpet that lines the entire cabin, which contrasts with the bright white walls encasing it. Each booth, so you got your center booths and such with a table in the middle. It is a dark cherry wood, and it's a very varnished to a very glossy sheen. There are several patrons inside this cabin. You can see that are engaged in conversation and drinking from quite fancy teacups. You do see in the corner a orange tabaxi family, 2 small children and their parents. And then you also see an Aarakocra that is sitting in the middle left in a very fancy black suit with a pair of silver spectacles on his beak. He is currently invested in a book, and despite the glasses, is quite close to his beak. And then, all right, so I have our tickets here, and I've already got it set up. So we have the train car is divided up into, let's see, okay, the cabins are in cars 3, 5, 7, and 9, and ours is going to be car 5. I have a individual room, and then there is a 4-person room that I have set for you 3 to share. Yeah, it should be down this way. The cart that you guys entered on was, let me just find my spot here. It was cart 6.
So, and just to check, are the rooms? I guess this could be Joe saying this. Are our rooms adjoining or right next to each other? Should you encounter any issues and you need to call for help?
Mine, I believe, is across from you, but let's double check. As you enter into the 5th car, you're once again meted with black carpet and white walls, as well as bright white doors into each cabin. You see they are individually numbered. Edmund's is room 4. As you're entering, is going to be the left side of the train. And yours is room 6. So you are just parallel to him.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Oh.
Seems like a decent enough proximity if you do encounter any issues.
It should be perfectly fine. Again, I am just choosing not to worry about it and just have this will all just be an extra cost, but it'll be fine.
Well, we are, here to look after you, and so it's our job to worry about it. So we can do all the worrying for you.
That's excellent. All right. I believe they were going to move all of our clothes into our cabins for us once we are headed out. But if you just want to check if there's anything that you had on you that you need to put away or anything, should be good here.
Well, Hercules, you've got to go in the room. I'm sorry. It's, I guess, for everyone's safety or something, but I'm sure you'll be fine. There's a nice view. You can probably put your head out the window.
Borf. And he will walk in. Well, he'll walk up to the room. You've not opened the door yet.
Okay, I will open the door so he can go in.
As you open the door, you get to see into your cabin.
Yeah.
For a luxury train, it's a little cramped.
Yeah.
There is a separate little bathroom suite inside. So that's nice. You have your own personal bathroom. But it's a bit more like if you've ever stayed in a hostel, so you've got the 2 bunk beds lining the side, and you've got kind of a middle aisle and a very small aisle perpendicular to that is right as you enter.
Mm-hmm.
You can see that the walls that the beds are not connected to are indented into little shelves, so that's probably where they're going to be putting all of your stuff. And there is a nice bay window that is almost the length of the entire far wall, with very nice red velvet curtains that you can choose to close with golden fabric pulls.
Nice. This
Yeah,
place seems
just almost exactly like a boat.
I wonder if I'll get train sick.
Can I make a medicine or insight check to correctly deduce whether or not Joe will become sick on this train ride?
You know what? Sure.
Whether his internal organs will fall out of himself, as was posted in most high-speed.
Let's do this. Let's have the first roll be whether or not Joe is going to lose his guts.
Okay. Medicine or insight?
Let's do insight.
+9. Here we go.
Mhm.
That's a 21.
You think Joe will probably be fine? He might get a little queasy, but as long as he's not like, giving himself vertigo by like looking down when you're going over the bridge, or, spending too much time like walking in between carts. As long as he spends plenty of time sitting down and just relaxing, he should be fine.
Joe, as long as you don't overexert yourself, I think you'll be fine.
Well, as far as we've been led to believe, it should be a few days of relaxing, so this might be alright.
Yeah, just don't look around too much. I think you'll be okay.
But by the way, just while we're in the room, have either of you had any experience of being somewhere you feel like you don't belong? Because I very much feel that in this train. It seems very out of my league, out of my comfort zone, maybe.
That's the nature of new things. I mean, everything is out of your league until you raise yourself to whatever position you're trying to reach. I mean, like, you have to expect that you have to keep growing in order to, you know, be comfortable in any situation.
Mm,
Yeah.
maybe you're
And
right.
just, yeah. And this version of you may not be okay with it. But I think you might find that you enjoy it a lot more than you think. As long as you don't overexert yourself, once again. Um, are you afraid because the walls are white and it's a very poor choice in color for a traveling
I mean,
vehicle?
there could be, you know, if we go over a rock on the line, a tea could spill anywhere on the walls and it would look terrible. But no, that's less my concern. It's more just, you know, this is a place of affluence. Um, the the teacups are dainty. You know, the people here are very rich as far as I can tell. It just seems, you know, out of my wheelhouse.
Did the did the family seem very affluent? I
Yeah,
know
so
you're eating. Yeah.
sorry, I'm using your role playing time as me scarfing my dinner.
Oh, how dare.
So they were very nicely dressed. Um, not to the degree of the Aarakocra you saw,
Hmm.
but the brief look you got of the children who were facing more towards you, the little girl was in a very brand new, like, bright blue dress with a bright blue bow. So you would say, and the boy was in a very nice new, like, waistcoat and all that. So you would say probably
Like
this
upper middle
not,
class, kind of.
yeah, upper middle class to very much higher class when it came to the Aarakocra.
Okay.
Yeah, it is definitely more um, prestigious than what you've been in more recently.
Okay. Well, um, Joe, my understanding of um, my previous encounters with people from this kind of class and um, the kind of people who actually pay taxes, uh, that they are very much like everyone else. There's not there's not a huge divide
Hmm.
between them and shop owners. Many of them, I think, do own shops, or they employ people who work in shops. So most of these people are going to understand. Um, the language may be a bit different, but they're pretty alike.
Okay.
And with the kids, I'm sure they'll enjoy seeing Hercules.
I suppose, yeah. I mean, I can't let him out of the room, but I could, no, yeah, I could show them a picture maybe, or draw a diagram. Maybe they'd enjoy that.
Mhm. Maybe. But I think in the meantime, we'll just keep to ourselves and just make sure that Edmund doesn't do anything too stupid on the ride over.
All right, sounds good. Thank you. All right, I guess let's get acquainted in the cabin. I guess we're not going to be going anywhere for a few days, so may as well get comfy.
As you bring that up, you will see that on the back of your door is a kind of map of the train cars. So, as you guys see that, you'll notice that the train itself is made of 10 little train cars. Car 1 is the engine and control room. Cabs 4, 6, and 8 are all dining and communal cabins. Cab 2 is the kitchen. And cab 10 is going to be the storage car, so that is where all of your weapons and anything like that will be held. Cabs 3, 5, 7, and 9 are all the guest room cabins. They each contain 3 to 5 rooms, it says. Car 3 is a luxury cabin. And somewhere in the corner you see a price that just makes you nauseous. You assume that's
it might. I mean, it might make Mako and Joe nauseous, but Kitasha might be like, yeah.
Yeah. It's saved for the very influential guests. Cabins 5 and 7. Meanwhile, as well as 9 are the economy rooms.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it looks like, just going off of the little map, that cabins 5 and 7 each have 4 rooms. Each spanning from it being a single bedroom to a 4-bedroom. And then yep, cabin 9 is the staff sleeping quarters. And it has a dorm room setup. It says it's giving you this information just so in case you walk in, you aren't shocked.
Mm-hmm.
There is a little note. This is not meant to be accessed by the public. This is for employees only. Please refrain from entering cabin 9.
Checks out. Is it just the 3 of us in the room when we got the door closed? Like, we're fully away from the rest of everyone?
If you want it to be.
Okay, yeah. If that's the case, I'll say to you two, by the way, I didn't bring my thieves' tools with me, but I can create them. It's a skill that I've picked up. So if we do need to get into somewhere in this journey, is somewhere on this train that requires the lockpicking, it could be done. I just want to put that out there for future.
Yep.
All right.
You can do that just as long as you let me know ahead of time, so that way I can potentially distract anybody.
Mhm.
Should it come to that?
Yeah, but hopefully this will be rather uneventful, and we can sit around, play some games, and dream of one day being able to live in a luxury cabin.
Even as you say that, Joe, you know it's a long shot.
I don't know if we keep working our way up the guild like we have. I reckon we'll be, will be pretty important.
Maybe
so.
so.
Maybe
I
someday.
mean, Mako's already engaged to a daimyo, so it might be sooner than we think.
That's true.
That
if we go
is
to your wedding.
Mako. It's not a pipe dream for Mako.
All right. Let's get sitting on a table and reading a book and looking out at the view. To be honest, I think it will be nice seeing a bit more of the country. I haven't seen too much of it. We've done a little traveling up north, and then of course the longer journey we've done down to the spore infested place. But this will be nice to see a different part of the country, perhaps a bit more sea.
Maybe. Who knows? Maybe we'll see if you actually tan or bleach in the sun.
I've never been in the sun
Kitasha
long enough.
and Kitasha will turn to Mako. Mako, do you want one of the top bunks? I'm assuming it's like 2 sets of 2. Yeah.
Um, it matters not to me. You guys can pick first.
I feel like it does. I mean, you've got the jumping legs though, so I feel like it does make the most sense for you to just jump straight to the top. But I mean, that's just, you know.
If you would prefer a bottom bunk, I will take a top.
Kitasha will take a extra pillow from one of the bottom bunks and will also like whip herself up to a top
Mhm.
and get extra comfortable.
Perfect. As you all are getting situated, you hear and notice in the far corner of the ceiling, there is sending stones. Hello, passengers! We are ready to embark on our trip to... Let's see here. Let me refresh my knowledge here. Oh, yes! You shall be first reaching the city of Alistair, and then from there, traveling on to Radiance. Oh, such lovely times. For those of you that this is your first time traveling with us, welcome aboard! And those coming back, you are welcome back as well. We shall be enjoying a very nice, fast trip down across this continent, and then seeing the nice sea bridge, and he begins rattling on, and eventually you kind of hear the sending stone just clip out.
I was really hoping to hear more about what kind of fish populated the river that we're going to be crossing.
He certainly knew
And
his
Kitasha
stuff.
does like a big like C-shaped cat stretch and like hugs both of her pillows and gets extra comfortable.
You hear the train whistle sound, and actually, real quick with that, Mako, can you give me a wisdom check, real quick?
All right. That's going to be a 13.
Okay, you're fine.
Ominous.
You are totally fine as the train whistle goes and the train starts moving. And while it appears outside as you look out the window that the train is picking up speed relatively fast, you are not jolted at all. It is very smooth, almost weirdly smooth, how this train moves.
Hmm.
I think this feels better than the boats probably. There's a lot less rocking than I thought there was going to be.
Yeah, but I'm gonna have to actually like put effort into going to sleep.
If you want,
I'm
I could
assuming it's
shake.
like mid-morning.
The train departed at sunrise.
Sunrise. Okay, so it's still really early. I appreciate it, Joe, but no, thank you. If I'm going to rock my bed, I'll do it myself. Um, and Kitashi will attempt to like get some more rest in, and then we'll just kind of give up and go off and explore.
Alrighty. Are we splitting the party, or
I guess
everyone following?
are you just one? I'll probably like follow at least a little bit and potentially like try and I guess see what everyone else is doing. But if not, maybe Joe will just find a quiet corner in like the next cabin over in number 6 and just people watch and look out the window for a bit.
I think Mako's going to try and stay in the same cabin as what's his name? I forgot.
Edmund?
Edmund, yeah. Just
Sure.
like not like at a same like table or booth, but like just in the same cabin.
Okay. Well, he is currently in his cabin. However, I would assume. Let's see. So, Kitasha, you're just going to explore by yourself then, or?
Yeah, Tasha, if there's like a viewing car, I think Tasha would most likely go there.
Okay. Yeah, I would say the most central one, because all of it is kind of like very tall windows for seeing out with the it's kind of the like dining car style throughout it. The most central one is going to be that cabin 6 where you guys were before. But just to bring it to speed, Edmund will join you guys, at least Mako and Joe in cabin 6. And from the sounds of it, I think what will happen is Joe will take a seat first. Edmund, feeling awkward with his notebook, will take the seat across from Joe. And then Mako will proceed to walk to a completely different booth and watch.
She'll supervise the date.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. And then, just to kind of do another run through for you, Anna, for wherever you want to take a look. Train cars 1, 2, and 10 are 1, 2, 9, and 10 are all going to be basically off limits because those are all staff areas. Otherwise, you do have 4, 6, and 8, which are all the like communal cabins, as well as then the other like bedroom cabins are going to be 3, 5, and 7.
I think I'll go for number 8.
Okay.
Maybe she'll try and like bribe some of the employees that are exiting cart 9. See if they want to take a break early and just like sit and chat, get some of that juicy goss. Or if this is more like you said they're all communal. If this is
Yes.
more of like a bar cart, Kitasha might like have a drink and use it as a place to pretty much people watch and get gossip and just kind of figure out more about the people on the train.
Okay, yeah. I think I will start with you right now, and then we will check back in with our other 3. So in cabin 8, you do try to get a couple of the employees' attention, but most of them very kindly brush you off of well, I'll have a break later, so my shift's just started, sort of thing. But there is a bar area in number 8, so you are able to get, you have quite a few options of very fancy drink, all complimentary with your ticket.
Of course.
And as you settle down with, what would Kitasha like of a fancy drink?
I don't know about a fancy. I think Kitasha would be like a dark and stormy type of person.
Mhm.
like a rum and ginger, like pungent drink.
I think the bartender kind of startles a little bit because they're very much not used to.
Day drinkers,
They get a lot.
alcoholics.
No, they get a lot of whiskey people. They've got plenty of day drinkers,
Hmm.
but kind of like nods respectively, like good choice, and whips that up for you. As you're sitting in this cart and kind of looking around, you do notice a very fancily dressed tabaxi woman. She is in a very elegant kind of what is that? What is that style? It is like pigeon bodice gown.
Edwardian.
Yes, much more
Okay.
Edwardian. You can tell she's a little on the older side, where the few bits of curly fur on her head is gone from what you could kind of see used to be a much more blonde to fiery red colors in her fur have now started to go gray. She is a Devon Rex tabaxi.
Okay, so she's got curly hair. Yeah, curly, wiry hair.
Yes, very thin, curly. And she is currently holding a nice glass of champagne and wistfully looking out the window, just admiring the scenery as it goes by. Then you can also see in this cart is a Goliath who seems a little out of place. Still very nicely dressed, but not to the extent of very much not to the extent of this tabaxi woman or the family of tabaxi you had seen earlier. But still nice. Say Goliath man. He's struggling to fit comfortably in the chairs. They're mostly a one size fits all sort of thing, but you can see that his feet are kind of like sticking underneath the booth in front of him as he's just messing with his hands and looking at his watch and kind of huffing and humming once in a while, but eventually pulling out a little pocket notebook and jotting down a few notes.
Okay.
And
With his hemming and hawing and my passive insight of 19,
Mhm.
does it seem like he's late for something? Like he's expected to meet someone?
it seems more to you like a nervous tick. Like he's,
Like he's more anxious than anything?
yeah.
Okay. Um, I think I'm gonna order him some sort of like beer mixed drink.
Okay.
Um, something like a porter with chocolate and um, maybe like a little bit of mint in it too.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I will bring the drink over to him. Um, and uh, place it down on the table and slide it towards him. Um, and say, uh, they really don't make booths for people like us, do they?
He'll kind of jolt and look up at you and smile a bit sheepishly. No, not quite, really. That's all right, though. I mean, there's only we're less common, I would say, than much smaller folk.
That's true. To be fair, all I've seen on this train have been cats and birds. I'm a little concerned that I was a little concerned that I'd be the only one. May I join you?
Oh, yes, of course. Please have a seat.
Okay. And Kitasha will opt to like lounge in the booth rather than like sit normally. So her legs will be scooped up on the booth uh, as a way of like fitting a little bit better into it and also not getting in his way.
Perfect. Me sitting in my own chair with my feet kind of lounged up like that myself, just like, yep, that's about right.
Yeah.
The dedication to character is beautiful.
Yes.
True method acting.
He'll got a little notebook. He had started jotting down notes and he sets aside and says, "Where are my manners? My name is Brutus Harlan. It's very nice to meet you."
Mr. Harlan.
Mhm.
Yes, nice to meet you as well. You can call me Kitasha.
It's very nice to meet you, Kitasha. If I might ask, you seem almost as out of place as I do, I feel at least. Where are you traveling to?
Oh, off to Radiant and look of work.
Oh,
I figured that the climate would suit me better. I'm assuming you're traveling for work as well?
yes, actually, kind of looking more for inspiration, I guess. Um, I,
As soon as he says that, Kitasha will like try and slyly look at his hands to see if he's more of like a paint, like if it's paint or ink. Because she's
uh,
assuming he is some sort of like, he needs a muse more so than like anything else.
mhm. You can definitely notice that he has ink stains on his cuffs that he's tried to clean up. And you can notice that tucked into his breast pocket, you can see a couple different fountain pens.
Okay. Inspiration. Are you a writer?
Oh, yes. Um, I've had a couple small things published here and there, but I've really been looking for a nice big story to kind of, take off. And I was hoping stopping in Alistair or Radiance might help get some inspiration, kind of, seeing something outside of Dragonrook might be good for me.
Well, expanding one's world is a great way to expand one's palette. Uh, what do you know? And like Kitasha will continue like pulling bits and pieces out of him.
Mm-hmm.
Um, very reminiscent to what she did before when working with people is just kind of like making them feel comfortable enough to do things, to
Yeah,
like step outside of their comfort zone.
you are able to get Brutus to open up quite a bit. It seems like he's very much been wanting someone to connect to since boarding this train.
I guess the
It
cats and
seems,
birds weren't really doing it for him.
no. You kind of find out that he's been saving for a while to board this train. And it's kind of he's a fiction writer, but has mainly done a couple of just a couple small, like, mystery novels. But most of them were published kind of in a grouping with other writers, and nothing has really taken off. He's made a little bit of money off of it, but not enough to really get his work known.
Okay. And Kitasha will endeavor to feed him little bits and pieces of herself,
Mm-hmm.
uh, just enough for there to be like mystery in case he wants to seek her out.
Okay. Yeah, you're able to. I think Kitasha doesn't need to, like, do any deception or anything to be very good at what she used to do. She knows it already.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll fade out of here as you're having a very nice conversation with this man. And we will fade into cart 6 as Mako, Joe, and Edmund enter into this cart. You can still see that there is the Tabaxi family are still in the far right corner, all talking over the table. The kids seem to be a little bit more rambunctious than they were before. That Falcon Aarakocra is also still there, though every once in a while he's looking up from his book to just gaze out the window. And another 2 people are in the cart this time. You can see a strawberry poison dart frog Grung, who is currently sitting by himself, just watching out the window. And where are you? An elf, who is a very pale, with kind of light bluish haired elf that is also sitting kind of by themselves. But they're currently writing in a notebook.
I think after a little bit, Joe might go over to the if other people seem to be at least occupied with books or notebooks or things. But if the grung seems a little lonely, I think Joe's going to go over to them.
All right.
So sort of approach and say, "Is the seat taken?"
He'll kind of startle and look at you and, Allah, no. You can go ahead.
Oh, thank you. So I just couldn't help but notice you looked a little. You looked almost as lonely as I felt, and so I just wanted to check in and see if you're right or if you needed some company.
Oh, really, I'm quite fine. Sorry you're feeling lonely. Where my manners? My name is Eugene.
Eugene, was that?
Eu-
Okay.
It's
There
nice.
are many people that I know call me Joe, which is, I guess, short for Joseph, but just people call me Joe.
Joe. Sounds familiar. What's your last name?
Opaz.
Oh, did you have a shop in Dragonrook?
I did have a shop in Dragonrook, yes.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, you have a keen mind.
Yeah, I used to live out towards that area of town. It's a shame to see that it burnt down.
Yes, it was a very unfortunate event, but I'm hoping I can come out on the other side of it. Luckily, no one was harmed, so that was the most important thing.
That's good. There's been a lot of, fire incidents in Dragonrook as of late. It's always, kind of scary going around.
Yeah, absolutely. Can I do a quick insight on this guy just to see if he's potentially hinting us towards something or just making that general sort of comment?
Sure.
All right, insight with a +0. That is a nat 20. Hello.
Wow.
Wow.
This guy seems to know a lot about the fires.
Okay.
Could just be someone, really concerned about fire. I mean, thinking about it, poison dart frog, kind of grung. They're kind of more, moist creatures.
Sure.
But yeah, you're not sure about him.
Okay. I'll log that away. Perhaps a vague sense of curiosity, if not suspicion. Um, well, regardless, yes, I hope whatever is going on in the city can be resolved. What brings you out to Radiance, if I may ask?
Oh, there's a lot going down. I heard there was a conference happening out there, but I'm kind of more looking towards what was it? Sorry, my brain's fried a little bit. Oh yeah, there was what was his name? He is such. There's this mechanic guy I'm going out to go see who told me he'd be able to help me with some of my augmentations. Some new tech stuff that's going out that way.
That sounds quite intriguing.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you have good success with that. I've only just started an augmentation of my own. I'll tap my legs.
The legs. That one can be a bit tough. If you just got your hand, hold up his right hand, you'll see that it is entirely metal. Think Silver's hand, and
Yeah, that's
but
awesome.
not
Well,
just the hand bit of it.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, lost the hand itself in a unfortunate accident, but working to get something a little bit better.
Are you a mechanic yourself, or a tinkerer, or is this just asking for assistance with it?
Oh, I'm not much for mechanics myself. I'm more the more like go out and get my hands dirty with, dirt and soil, that sort of thing, rather than metals and grease.
Oh, that's just as important. Well, I do hope you find whatever you're looking for in Radiance, and perhaps our paths will cross again.
Yes, of course. You have a good one.
I'll shake his robot hand and then head back to the booth.
Sounds good. Are you sitting with Edmund, or are you choosing to sit with Mako, who has said that she's not going to be sitting with Edmund?
I'll sit with Edmund. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll take a little do a casual lean to see what he's putting in his notebook and if it's mechanical in nature.
It is. It does appear to be more information and kind of writing out kind of his presentation for his solar panels that he is designing.
I'm gonna be really obnoxious. Can I do like a perception check of some sort, or like I don't know, an arcana, or just some sort of like intelligence-based thing to see if I can spot any like anything particularly interesting, or even any errors, or just anything at all?
Sure.
Okay. I don't know what role that would be there. Investigation or perception or uh yeah.
It's vaguely magical, so I would say either an arcana or an investigation.
All right. I'll go for the old arcana with a 17.
So you are not super familiar with this sunforged steel technology. So, I mean, it's been pretty much lost in a lot of ways to time. But from what you're seeing, it looks interesting enough, and it feels like it should work.
Okay.
But, again, this is all very, very new to you.
Yeah. If he like sees me staring at his notebook, I'll just give him like a good thumbs up.
He'll smile at you and continue jotting down stuff. And as you sit there for a while, Miko, are you doing anything specific, or are you just watching?
I think I'm just watching. Like, I realize Neko doesn't have many like idle tasks, so like, just kind of just sitting and watching.
Okay. Who are you watching?
Our uh uh our VIP.
Okay. Edmund?
Yeah, I'm not like staring him down. I'm just like, watching his table, like panning back and forth between the two doors, and like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
At one point while you're watching the far side and keeping an eye on Edmund, you turn to look at the door behind you and realize standing right next to you, uncomfortably close, is the little Tabaxi girl. And she's just staring at you wide-eyed.
Can I help you?
You have very pretty ears.
Thank you.
She kind of tilts her head back and forth. My name is Francine. I'm 6. Who are you?
It's very nice to meet you, Francine. My name is Mako.
Oh. I've never heard a name like that before. That's cool. Are you going to go spend some time in the sun like we are? I heard there's lots of sand.
I may. I'm actually going to Radiance on work. I've, I've, I have a job to do there.
What kind of job?
Nickel will point over and say, "I'm here to protect him."
Oh. So you're like a superhero.
Sure.
You vaguely hear rustling noise of a parent desperately trying to feed a 6-year-old. So do your legs help with that? You got cool metal legs, and she starts poking at your legs.
Yes, they do actually. These she'll gesture to the metal parts. Were built by a friend of mine. They let me they jump super high.
Oh. I can jump really high too. You want to see?
Sure, let's see.
And she will hop. And she gets like a good inch or 2 off the ground. See, I can jump really high.
That's great.
And you will see this mother Tabaxi rush over, and she's just mortified.
Ah, you must be Francine's mother. Hey, Francine is a gem.
Oh yes, I'm sure. I am so sorry. I'm Catherine. I am so sorry to bother you. Come here. You are not supposed to leave the table.
Don't worry about it. I do not mind in the slightest.
She will smile at you, still very apologetic, and start waving her 6-year-old on, who is still staring at you and just starts waving her arm over excitedly.
I'll wave back as she's pulled away.
As you settle back in, you notice for a moment that as you go to gaze back at Edmund, he seems to have a very perplexed look on his face. And then he kind of like shakes it off and goes back to writing. But as the alarm sounds, as the sending stones light up again, you notice that there's a couple in the corners of each room. Alrighty, guests, we shall now begin our 10 a.m. tea. If you would like to gather at your tables, and we will have the staff coming in to bring you some nice complimentary tea and snacks as we continue our journey through through this land. Oh, it's so beautiful. As you look outside, you will know. And he begins to ramble on and on and on.
Did he mention which cart specifically would start serving? Or is it just a table?
So it will be the staff going through each kind of room, just to see wherever people are gathered. Most of the guests are currently gathered in 6. However, they will also be providing food in carts 8 and cart 4.
Okay. When the announcement goes off, Kitasha will make her escape and head back up to see where everyone else is.
Alrighty. Yeah, Brutus will let you go with a smile and a wave and begin jotting down some notes in his notebook again.
Mm-hmm.
More fervently this time.
Oh no, what have I done?
Your inspiration.
Oh no. And Kitasha will leave her empty cup on the bar top.
Yeah, the barkeep will sweep it up and nod to you as you walk out.
Yeah. She'll also leave a couple copper as a tip. It's probably not a whole lot.
Mhm. He'll look at it and go,
and just say, well, yeah, money's money.
yeah. But yeah, as you go through, you can re-meet up with the rest of the party. You can see as you enter the room that Edmund and Joe are sitting together, and Mako is off by herself in a different booth. Where is Kitasha going to sit? Or is she going to drag Mako over to join?
No, I think Kitasha will I think she'll actually see if there is an empty booth, and she will take that.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, there should be just at least one more empty booth, so you're able to go ahead and sit by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, everyone, we're splitting the party all over the place, even for tea.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Kitasha is just still like getting a sense of the people here, and kind of figured that she would have a better chance of doing that if she was separate from everyone else.
That's fair. Yeah, is there anyone in particular you're trying to get a read on?
I think the Aarakocra with the glasses.
Okay.
If he's one of the ones here.
Yes.
Okay. Mainly just wants to see what kind of, because if he's still reading, what kind of books he's interested in, what type of person he is. On just like a...
Okay. Well, looking at his posture, he's very back up straight, shoulders back, but he is reading this book awfully close to his face, even with glasses.
Mm-hmm.
And you can tell by what he's wearing that he's got quite a bit of money. It's very, very clearly, a silken suit, 3-piece. It's got several like gemstones kind of woven into parts of the lapels. It's got a little bit of gold filigree as well. His book that he's reading is a nonfiction, like, biography.
Like a political biography?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Mm.
Every once in a while, he'll lift his chin and look out the window and tap his little feathery finger upon his chin, and then go back, turn a page. Do you watch as there is a little bit of... Actually, give me a perception check real quick.
Perception?
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, if only. Whoop. 19. Oh, wait, hang on. I also have to add my D4. 22.
Nice. Yeah, you notice that there are little sparks of magic that go off every once in a while from the glasses.
Okay. I don't think I have detect magic, so I can't tell exactly what kind of magic it is.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Once tea is served, Kitasha will take her cup and saucer and go over to him and strike up conversation.
Okay. Yeah, you are given a very nice blue floral teacup with a gold handle. And it's got a matching saucer plate. And you also have... Each table is set like a little stand of little sandwiches. You're able to take your teacup and go join him at his table.
Mm-hmm. Do I recognize who the biography is about?
You're not 100% sure. You think it's someone from, like, Gloramore, which is like a city on a southern continent from here, and you didn't really pay much attention to that sort of area. It's some gnome guy.
Oh, okay.
You think you might have heard he had some racial thing happen with him and kobolds at some point, but who knows?
Okay. Kitasha will approach. Forgive me for interrupting. I always enjoy spending time with those who broaden their minds. May I? And she'll gesture across from him.
Oh, good day, madam. Yes, of course, you may have a seat.
Thank you. And she will do a prestidigitation before sitting.
Mhm.
And she will adopt less of a casual air.
Mhm.
She'll be much more what is the word I'm looking for?
Pompous.
Krampus?
I'm trying to give you something. I'm
No,
trying
a lot
to...
more intentional with her movements.
Okay.
A lot less casual. Now, I happened to notice the book you were reading. That's a politician from the southern continents, isn't it?
Oh, yes, dreadful thing, really. It's like but a bunch of hogwash, really. He sets the book down. To be honest, his whole conspiracy about kobolds being these evil creatures who worship some horrific god is quite outdated at this point, and it's very tedious to read, to be honest.
Well,
Where...
Well, most conspiracies are, but they really have a way of showing, in my opinion, a good portion of our inner psyche. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, yes, quite. It's really quite intriguing and quite sad at times to look into some people's minds. Mm. But where are my manners? My name is Reginald Goldenbeak. And who do I have the pleasure of speaking with?
You may call me Kitasha.
It is a pleasure to
Uh,
meet you, Dasha.
it's a pleasure to meet you as well. Do I know of the Golden Beaks?
Vaguely. They didn't tend to frequent any of the parties you were at. You might have seen a younger Goldenbeak every once in a while,
Mm-hmm.
but they're pretty they're a pretty well known scholar family when it comes to nobles, but they don't tend to get along super well with many of the other nobles, so they're not usually invited.
Okay. Um, well, if I may be so bold, I can understand why you would find this politician so tedious, with given your family's reputation.
Ah, I see my name continues to stand strong there. Yes, it's, try to keep, clear mind about things and continue to study and forever learn. That's how we hold to everything. That's how we continue on strong. But some of these people, you think they've never read a book before. And then they go and write one themselves.
Or they have someone else do it and they take the credit, but oh, I assume you are traveling for more knowledge and to expand your mind, or
Yes, actually, I was invited to observe over this technology conference that is taking place down in Radiance.
oh, interesting. The stars must have aligned. I think I'm traveling there for work as well.
Oh,
I believe I
likewise.
received an invite to look at some of the creations of our future.
Oh, wondrous. It's great to see so many minds willing to look into what's new and what our great intellect is creating for this world. We've increased so much in the past 100 years compared to where we were at before.
Oh, yes, and Kitasha will continue like expounding upon the philosophies of moving forward and also looking backward and the dissemination of knowledge and
Yeah,
many.
at some point he goes off on a whole tangent. It's based around a specific politician that you vaguely were aware of, but apparently there was some big scandal that the Golden Beaks brought to light about this politician, and he's lost all credibility at this point. You kind of get lost in the conversation just a little bit as he continues on.
Mhm. Yep. Um, and I think Kitasha will continue like that in this conversation for about an hour until like
Mhm.
just before luncheon.
Okay,
In which case she'll excuse herself back to her room.
sounds good. Um, while this is happening, Joe, is
Yeah,
there
there's other people here.
there are other people here. Joe and Mako, is there anything that you guys are specifically wanting to talk about, or anything you're wanting to do during this tea time period?
I think nothing in particular. I might if Edmund would no longer be working on any design stuff, I'd probably perhaps strike up a conversation or try and get him to talk a little bit about more like the the side of the invention that most people wouldn't be interested in, more like the mechanics of it and how it works and what the failings of it and the possible issues and stuff. But if he'd, I don't know how much he'd be willing to share that would be like considered almost like private, or the actual like how it works of it.
No, to be honest, when you start asking, he really lights up about it, and he starts to kind of go on, and because you also are of an intellectual mind of it, he begins explaining all these things and all these ideas of how, how much better the world will be once we're able to implement this. If we're able to get it working really well, then we could change how the whole world works. And he's going on, and then suddenly he cuts himself off and he drops his teacup. Suddenly. And it shatters on the table.
Oh. Are you okay?
Sorry, I don't know what happened. It suddenly became so hot to the touch that I couldn't hold it anymore.
Oh. That's not normal for tea.
No.
Let me help. I can cast mending on the teacup to try and like restore it back to how it used to be, and potentially use some telekinesis to try and just get the tea back in the cup as much as possible.
Real quick, doesn't that mending thing only work for like 1 square inch at a time?
It can work for a single break at a time, so it depends how much it's like. If it's shattered into a couple pieces, it would be like doable, but it just might take a little while.
Mm-hmm. But it did shatter into a couple pieces, so you could start mending it. But by that point, he's already like mopping up with kind of some of the napkins, the tea.
Yeah. A single break or tear in an object you touch, such as it gives a few examples.
Mm-hmm.
As long as it's no larger than 1 foot in any dimension.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, and then he keeps kind of going back, and you can kind of see that his hand that he was holding the teacup handle in is a bit scorched.
If you'll allow, could I do like maybe an Arcana check or something similar to kind of determine if I know what might have caused that, or see if that's familiar to me in any way. All right. 21 on the Arcana.
This seems like someone casted heat metal on the gold handle of the teacup.
All right. Who had line of sight?
Everyone in the cabin.
Let me check my thing. Yeah, my passive perception isn't that great. It's only a 13.
I got a 14 passive perception. It's not great either.
Step aside, everyone. I got a 10.
Yay! I mean, if anyone looks super guilty afterwards, I could probably figure out who it is. But
you see a couple like startled glances, but that seems to be all you can see from around the room. Everyone seems just like surprised and confused at why someone would suddenly drop their teacup, but then will go back to their business.
Megan's gonna slide over to the table and inquire with Joe and Evan and ask, hey, what just happened?
My teacup became too hot to hold in my hand. Scorched a little bit.
I'll catch Mako's eye and kind of give like a like a quick like I flick my eyes around the cabin like there's someone here that's doing this. I'll try and get that across in as few words. And I'll say to Edmund, do you require any actual healing, or do you think you'll be okay?
No, it just scorched a little bit. It'll be fine. I'm quite all right.
All right. We will we'll keep an eye out for this. This feels like it was sending a message.
Who knows?
So Joe's saying that will be really low. By the way, I don't want even one booth over. That'll be him like nearly whispering it. I kind of said that too loud, but yeah.
Yeah.
Do the doors between cabins have windows in them, or are they solid?
They have windows.
Okay. That greatly expands the list of potential assailants. I don't say assailants.
Suspects.
Yeah.
And not to play devil's advocate too much, but there is a chance that it could have been an accident or a prank or something less untoward as well. It doesn't necessarily have to have been targeted, because if they were going for his life or at least his reputation or something, there would have been probably better ways to go about it. So let's just keep an eye out and do what we can to prevent anything further like this.
Edmund is sitting really awkwardly in between all of this, just like.
You'll be fine.
Yeah, I think I might go lay down for a bit before lunch.
All right.
If you
If
don't
this
mind,
does
I'll
line up
escort
with,
you.
yeah, if it lines up with when Kitasha excuses herself from Goldbeak, then she will escort him back.
Okay.
I've only just come up with this idea now, so I haven't looked to fight with my character sheet to make it happen. But I kind of want to deactivate from a distance the magic that is imbued in the pistol, and I want to instead use one of my infusions to try and recreate a sending stone, or sorry, a pair of sending stones. If you'll allow that, it will take at least an hour probably. I think rules is written, but basically I want to try and generate a sending stone so that we can potentially leave one with the with Edmund, so that he can potentially call for us if needed.
Okay.
During the night or something, so it's almost like a baby, the baby monitor thing, like whoever, the sending stone baby monitor for Edmund.
Okay. Yeah, you could spend the time in between now and when the lunch period will be doing that.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just be working on that. I guess if it would not take too many tools and stuff, I'd probably work on it in just number 6. But if it needs if it's going to be a bit more like sitting on the floor and spreading out stuff, I'll probably go in the room at number 5.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah, while all this is happening, Mako's going to talk to Joe and Vitasha and say, in an abundance of caution, might I suggest that we have at least one of us posted outside of his cabin door during the night? I just, even if this was a more more of a message than a attack, I don't know. It feels weird, and I would like an abundance of caution if we can.
I mean, the hallway isn't very big. Wouldn't it make more sense for one of us to be in the room with him?
I imagine he would want his privacy, so that's why I wasn't going to suggest that. If he's willing to have us in the room with him, then by all means that works. But I was willing. But if I can secure the one entrance in and out, then that's good enough for me.
Okay. Oh, Joe, did you do anything for his hand?
I offered to heal it, but he said it was fine.
When I was escorting him back, was he like overly careful with it? As
No,
in, like, was very careful not to move it, or was like trying to hide it?
no, it wasn't enough. The brief glances you could see of the hand, he was a little bit ginger with it, but not much. And it looked like if you accidentally like touched a little bit too hot of water. So it's red, but it should heal up just fine within a couple hours.
Okay. Do the bathrooms have like different taps for hot and cold?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Um, yeah. Bit of a rewind before dropping him off. Kitasha will suggest that he like run some water over it, loosely wrap it, like
Mm-hmm.
the general stuff.
Mhm.
Um, and we'll also ask if he wants to be left alone.
Yeah,
Rest.
he's just kind of like, yeah, I kind of like to just have a little bit of time to myself.
Of course. Let us know if you need anything. I guess screaming would be the best way.
Mhm.
And Kitasha will take her leave.
Okay. Fast forward back to the conversation
Yeah.
at hand.
Just a,
Fast forward.
Re
just a
fast.
thought. Besides the standing stones, which I'm working on at the moment, the one other thing we could do is leave Hercules in the room with him, because Hercules doesn't need to sleep, and at least he may be able to alert us or protect even just for a second. His role is as a defender, so perhaps that would be at least a short-term solution.
Edmund may be more comfortable having Hercules in the room than any one of us.
Mm.
I think he is far more comfortable around machines. And since Hercules is, while semi-sentient, not a living, breathing creature,
Mm.
I think Edmund will feel more comfortable.
I really need to record some more dog noises. Borf just isn't cutting it. It doesn't have enough dynamic range. Sorry,
How
Hercules.
many can you like store for the recording?
I believe the one I've got in there at the moment is up to 6, but I didn't own a dog to record more noises, so I've got Borf.
I mean, Borf is pretty good. Pretty solid. As me, the player person, looks over at my dog that screams at doors.
I mean, I can give him the function to scream at doors if you feel that would be more authentic. I just don't know how helpful that would be as his role
No,
as a
that was me
defender.
like out of character, like looking at JJ with her full vocal range.
Yeah, I tried to like give all of the like noble and helpful traits of a dog, but all I do is just give the weird like like crazy like food addict ones.
Hmm.
The Carmy scream.
Hmm.
Just gets freaked out by shadows, like just a weird list of just nonsense noises and traits.
Pretty much.
All right. All right, I'll maybe after his lunch, after we reconvene at lunch, we can float the idea to Edmund about a him being dog sat.
Hmm.
All right.
I think
I'll
that'll
keep
be good.
I'll keep working on these stones regardless, because even if Edmund doesn't want the other standing stone, it may become useful for us while we're in this adventure.
Yeah.
Hmm. Out of curiosity, where are we? Are we in cart 6? Like the dining communal car, or are we like in our cabin?
I think you guys had said earlier that you had gone back to your cabin.
For that conversation, I think it makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. I was just like, did Kitasha just escort him back to an empty room and then walk away for several minutes?
Bye, son.
Guess we ain't getting paid.
Oh, we were supposed to keep that one alive?
Shame.
Shame.
That's in the chat.
Yeah,
That's for the greater good.
I have to say to both of you while we're in this sorry, for the greater good. I have to say to both of you while we're in this slightly more private room, I do wonder if the purpose of someone burning his teacup was sending a message, because again, if it was actually to kill him, that there's probably much more effective ways of doing that, and if it was to destroy his plans, again, there's probably better ways of doing that. So it feels like this was either a warning or a threat. I'm not sure, honestly.
So, because does Edmund wear any jewelry?
He's got the pendant.
Yeah, the pendant was the main thing you saw him wearing.
Yeah, if they wanted to hurt him, they would have targeted the pendant, not this cup.
So maybe this is more of a threat to say we could hurt you more. I don't know.
Maybe. Joe, you said that it was a spell?
From what I could gather, yes. The teacup heated up very suddenly. It had some magical essence.
Is it one of the spells that you can only cast within short distance?
According to my handbook, and he adjusts his non-existent glasses, you need to be within 60 feet, and you have to see it. So somebody within 60 feet, which is at least the entire length of the car, possibly the adjoining one as well. But yeah, it doesn't require. It doesn't require any too close range. 60 feet is a long way.
Yeah,
So it could be any of the other. Could be one of the children.
Would it be one of the children?
Children can be very terrifying spellcasters.
I mean, they can, but normally they'll cast things not maliciously. They'll use magic as a game. And I didn't hear any laughter.
It's true, yeah. I may have been being slightly facetious. I think it's more likely to be one of the others in the room.
Let's see. I was speaking with one of the judges for the fair. Do we think that there was another entrant?
There's likely dozens of other entrants.
Another entrant in the room that would have wanted to get rid of the competition? Are there prizes? Is there a ranking system?
It's
Is that
more
actually discussed?
It was briefly discussed. It's more a kind of getting funding sort of thing.
It's an expo, not a competition.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose we could continue to make polite conversation in the meantime with some of those in the train. The grung that I spoke to, called Eugene, was not seemingly interested in the convention, but was there to look at some augmentations. So I don't believe that this would be something that he would be interested in. But we could certainly speak to some of the others who were in the car. Speak to the Tabaxi family, perhaps, or speak to some of the others and try and see if there's any other contestants for this convention.
Well, not gather, the Tabaxi family's on vacation. At least the girls seem to be excited about the sand. So that sounded like a vacation to me.
Okay, so perhaps not them. And it still could have been anyone else that was just poking their head around the corner through the glass in car 5 before
Right.
retreating. So it could be anyone from that half of the train, basically, including staff. So we can't really rule anyone out, but we could certainly, over the next couple days, if no other signs come up, we could certainly still try and narrow it down as best we can.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't really. Yeah, I don't have anything that'll really help us with finding the culprit, at least magically. Um,
Yeah, I don't have anything either that would be too helpful in this immediate situation.
yeah, unless we discover that they're wearing a very specific piece of jewelry or clothing, and I can cast locate object on it. But if it's a staff member, they're in uniform, so that's not going to help us out at all.
And one other thing I can cast invisibility on one of you if sneaking around needs to be done at any point as well. All right,
Yeah,
let's
I think
think it over and keep an eye out for each other.
yes, we might as well just take a moment to refresh before entering the fray.
Yeah.
It is now 12 o'clock, and we will be having our lunch time in the communal carts. And if you look outside, you can see the long grass ranges that are stretching out, and you can see the wondrous mountain range. And as we fade out of our long-winded National Geographic explanation of where the train is going, we will end for the night.